communicate with the database server. We learned about how to communicate with server. So next, after understanding how do we communicate with server, we need to today see how to connect with database, access the data and all. So we are discussing about Node.js connection with the MongoDB database. So already yesterday we created a connection and what drivers are required, how to set up those drivers we learned. So this is our project. Yeah. So these connections we learned how to connect. Now the next step, what we need to know is, so we need to understand how we can accessing data from any database table. Okay, how we can access data from any database table. Let's see. First, you need to identify what is the database required, what table is present. Already, according to our project requirements, you created the database now, right? Some of you people already posted those screenshots of MongoDB database. I uploaded a document. So this is our MongoDB database. Connect. So in this, we have a database called iShop. I asked you to create one database, iShop. In this, what are the tables we are having? One table for admin, another table for categories, another table for customers and products. These are the tables we are having: admin, so categories, customers and products. So any table, in every table put some sample data. Admin table is for registering admin details, and customer table is for registering customers, and categories table to maintain all the products categories, and the products table is to have all the products related details, right? So now we have to learn how to communicate with it, right? How we can communicate with any of these tables and use them. So let's see what is present in products table. In the products table, you can see some product details are there. What are the product details? The product ID, name, price, stock, rating, category. All these are the product details. Some 2-3 products information is present. So now we want to connect with this product. What is the collection name? Collection name is products. What is the database name? iShop. We need to get that and display. First, we will see how to communicate. So I will create one program, some read.js. Okay. Here we need to write a program to connect with database, read the data from table and return it. So first we need to import Mongo client, require MongoDB. In MongoDB, what? Mongo client. Now here we need another connection string. Connection string to connect is MongoDB : // 127.0.0.1 to 7017. That is the connection string. Okay. Now here we need communication. That means first we need to use Mongo client dot connect. Connect with what? The connection string. After connecting, then here it have a callback. In that you will have an error if there is a problem in connection, and comma. Here you will have a client object if connection is successful. This client object is responsible for communicating with any database, right? So now we will put implies logic. So if there is no error, we will write if no error. If there is no error, what to do? Else what to do? If there is error, report that error. We will put console.log. What is it? Error. If there is no error, now we have to connect with a database. So, and we need to access database. So we will create database. How to access the database on successful connection? By using client object. This is the object. By using that object, we access client object, have a method called db.db database. Which database? Database name. Database name is what? iShop. That is the database name. That means now if connection is successful, it is loading the database into memory. Which database is loaded into memory? iShop. And you can access with reference of database. Now in this iShop database, there is a collection called products. We have a collection called products. So what we have to do? By using that database object, we have to access dot collection. Which collection? Collection name. Collection name is what? Products. Now what you want to do on the collection? You can insert, you can update, you can delete, you can read. For reading, what is the syntax? We have to use a method. What is it? Find. What is the find query? In the parenthesis, find query. Find query is empty. That means it is returning all. Okay. You can use any query like find only where category is this. We lot query, right? Okay. After that, it will return the records. Those records we need to present. Then we need an iterator. By using an iterator, we can read. But find command cannot use your iterators like for or map. It have an iterator called .toArray. ToArray is an iterator which will convert the result into array and read every record from the array. That means whatever records are returned by find, it will convert into array. And what it will do is, we have to read every record. ToArray again uses a callback function. What is that callback function? In the callback function, two objects are there. One is error object, another one is documents. That means what happens now? If there is a problem, in reading, then it returns error. If there is no problem in reading, then it returns the documents. It is going to return the documents. Now we need to write a logic here. So if there is no error in reading, then it has to present all documents. Currently we are using console.log. What is it? Documents. Otherwise, report the error. Console.log what error. This is the program. So by using this, we are connecting with the database, accessing data from a table called products, and we are returning. This is reading the data from a table. Let's run this and see. I will open in Explorer. Here we will use node read.js. You can see it is going to return all the records. That means it is going to return the products. So whatever data is present in that products table, it is going to return it. And see, by default, it returns in an array. By default, it is a JSON type. We can just present it. But currently we are using in console. We have to send it to browser. That means from browser, when client makes a request, now we need to send this data. Then you need to add server also. Now, yesterday we learned we have to create a server. So through that we need to send. So how to do that? Server we will see. So initially, this is the logic. So first, how to do it on server? Then we need to add server also. What to do? We need to add server means we need one more option. What is it? Var HTTP. HTTP is equal to require HTTP. Now we have to define HTTP. HTTP var node server is equal to HTTP dot create server. It uses a callback function. So this callback function have a request and a response. Now what we need to do here, we need to define, right? What is the logic is. So we need a first response dot write head. Am I right? Write head on 200. What is the content type? So we have to define content type. Content type is what application / JSON, because we are sending JSON. Now here we have to write all this logic. Remove that and put that logic inside that node server. Okay. Now what we have to do using Mongo client, we need to connect and we need to collect the database called iShop. In that we have a collection called products. On the products, we need to define find, and we need to return the data. These are the documents. How do we send the documents? This time by using response dot write. Response dot write JSON dot what string file. What is the data? Documents. Whatever documents are there, we need to send. If there is any error, we can send that error, right? As of now, we are displaying this. Okay. After configuring the server, we have to start the server. So what you have to do? So node server dot listen. Listen on some 4400, some port number. Then console.log, and we say server started HTTP localhost and port number 4400. Now you can see, let's compile that here, and you can see server started. Let's request that. So localhost 4400, it should get the data. So whatever data is in the database, it is returning the data in this format, right? So already it is having auto index IDs now. Already I told you MongoDB have an auto IDs. So if you want, you can disable while creating the database tables. I told you auto index ID we can set to false, right? Now here, this is the database data, whatever coming from that API. It is same like the fake store and all. And see, response is not ending, right? We need to end the response also. That will be good. What we have to do after write, we have to use response dot end. That's how we need to define. So we are writing a logic for connecting with the database, reading the data from the table, and presenting the data. That is how all APIs are working, but not like this. They use another request handlers. I will tell you. That means you saw fake store have so many requests. Fake store slash products, it will return all products. Fake store slash products slash ID, it will return only that product ID. Fake store slash products slash categories, it will return all categories. How to create so many requests, and how do we manage for every request different response? That we will see, right? First we will learn all CRUD operations here. CRUD operations, what are the CRUD operations here? So first, accessing data from database table, this is which operation? This is read. So we will see how we can manage CRUD. So that is create, read. So read, update, and delete. Update and delete. These all operations how we manage. So accessing data from any database table. For that, this is the example. Let me copy. Okay, this is the example for reading. Now, how you insert any record, how you update the record or delete. Actually, to insert, to update, to delete, we need a front end also, because from the front end we need to send the data that will be inserted into database. That front end we will create later. First, here directly we will hard code one new record and we will try to insert it. Later we will bring it from the front end. Okay, so let's see how we can use another option. Let's try. I will keep another file. So this is insert. Okay, .js. In this program, we must able to insert a new record into database. Let's see how we can do that. Where first Mongo client is equal to require MongoDB dot Mongo client. Mongo client. Okay, next we need a connection string. Connection string. So that is MongoDB :/ 127.0.0.1 That is the connection string. Now we will use simple Mongo where. Here we'll just use Mongo client dot connect. Connect with what? Connection string. After that, two objects, error, another one, client object. Okay. Now, if there is no error, what to do? Through client object, we need to access a database where database is equal to client object db. What is the database? iShop. Now, into this database, there is a collection called products. In that collection, we need to insert one record. So to insert a record, first will prepare a record. Here we will create one new document. You see in their database already, this is Compass. In the database already they have 4 records. You see they are having 4 records. So see the record Samsung, Nike Casuals, Mobile, Lee Cooper boot, something. And see for every product what details are required. ID, product ID, name, price, stock, rating. Actually in the rating again it is rate and count. Rate and count. And there is another category ID. Category ID, you see here it is using 2. This is nothing but relationship. In the example, have you maintained relationship? I asked you to create a database model. Na? In that you managed the relationship. Actually in fake store there is a relation. Every category belongs to a specific product. Based on category we can filter products. You see there is a table called categories. In this, how many categories are there? 3 categories: electronics, footwear, fashion. What is electronics ID? 1. Footwear ID is 2. Fashion ID is 3. That means now what happens is when you are creating product, am I right? Every product will have some category. That means for every product we have some category. That category we define as category ID. Category ID, here we define some 2. That means it belongs to footwear. Category ID 1 means it belongs to electronics. Category ID 3, that means it belongs to fashion. What is the advantage of this? Later, if we want, we can filter the products based on the category. We have a relation between category and products. Actually, this is generally in the data I given actually that. So you see we have categories table. Categories table. In that, 1 is electronics, 2 is footwear, and 3 is fashion. Here we are having another table. What is it? Products. In that, first product. So first product ID. Product ID is what? 1. Product name is TV. And which category it belongs? Category ID is 1. That means this is having a relation with this table. What is advantage later? If you are searching based on category ID 1, that means what it will do? It will return all which products? Electronic products. That is the type of relation. So here category ID is called as, this is category ID, this is called as primary key. That is the primary key. That means that is the unique for identifying category. Here what is primary key? Product ID is a primary key. This is for identifying product. But what is this category ID? It is called foreign key. Foreign key means every product can be filtered based on category ID. But that category ID is coming from which location? From categories table. Categories table. So we have a relation between categories table and products. That is the relation defined. If you created database and relation, if you have seen the document I uploaded, then you can understand, right? Have you read the document I uploaded? Word document. In that, all the relation diagram also I given. If you see, yeah? So there, the point is we are reading the category ID. Why it is one? One means which category? Electronics. That is not mentioned in products table. That is mentioned in which table? Electronics. That is what how it refers. So to insert a record, we need so many things. What are the things we need to insert record into products table? ID, name, price, stock, rating, and category ID. So what we are doing here, first we will create some product. This product is an object. In that, what are the properties? Product ID. I am giving temporarily number 5. But remember, later this will come from our forms. From our form, we will send ID. That ID will be collected here and it will be used. As of now, we are directly testing from only Node.js. Front end is not there. So I am giving some hard coded, right? Okay, next, name. Name is some watch. Okay. Next one is price. Price is some price. So price. Okay. After that, what? Stock. Stock is a boolean, true or false. After that, there is what? Rating. Rating is an object which contains rate 4.5 and it have count some 4600. Okay, next we have one more category ID. It belongs to one, means it belongs to electronics. So this is the record we created. But remember, this data we are hard coding. Later what we do is, later we will create a form in the front end. In the form, we will ask the user to enter those details. After entering the details, what user will do? He will submit. These submitted details so will be sent here. That means they will be sent here. Right? So currently we are just having some hard coded values, but later they will come from these fields. How to collect that we are going to learn. For that we need to build front end also, right? As of now, we define hard coded. Now this product must be inserted into a table. So how to access database? Database dot collection. What is the collection name? Products. According to MongoDB commands, how to insert a record? Insert a record. To insert a record, we have two methods. What are that? We have an insert one. We have insert many. Am I right? We will use insert one because currently we have to insert only one record. And what is that record? Product. That is what we want to insert. After that, we will have a callback function. It will have an error and it will have an result. That means if there is no error, we will print a message. Console.log will print a message, record inserted successfully. This message we will give. That is what we are giving. Later we can design other options also. Initially this is fine. Okay. Now let's run this program and see. Remember, here we are not using server. Here we are just testing the MongoDB command, how to insert. How do we insert? Okay. Now here let's run this program and see. So what you have to do, we have to run the program. This is insert.js, node insert.js. It says record inserted. Let's check in the database. In the database, currently 4 are there. We will refresh here. Now you can see 5 is there. And you can see the 5th record is added successfully. The 5th record is 5 watch 3000 true object category. That rating that rating again contains that rating contains these options. That rating contains the options. What is that? Rate is what? 4.5 and count is 4600, right? That is rate. So next time if I want to insert record, what we have to do, we need to change these values and run again, then it will be another. But in reality it will not be like that. This is only for our testing sake, right? In reality we will send from the front end. Okay, so now insert is also ready. Remember, you cannot try insert from browser directly. So from browser you can test only, you can test browser only, you can test one option. What is it? Get. Post, put and all we need to design forms. And later I will show you one API debugger. Separate softwares are there. In there we can test all the methods by using API debugger. Later we are going to see. First we need to understand directly how Node.js is going to read, how Node.js is going to insert, update and delete. Read is done. Now this is an example for what? Insert. For insert, this one. Now let's write another code for update. Update means what I want to do is here. I want to get record number 4 and the price for record 4 should be 7,800. It is actually 6,500. It should be 7,800. Now tell me how to write. So let's write another program. Just for your clarity sake, I am writing different programs. Another program, update.js. First step. First step is what? So where Mongo client is equal to require. Require what? MongoDB dot Mongo client. Okay. After that, we need a connection string. What is it? MongoDB : to 7.001.270.17. Next, we need to use Mongo client dot connect. And in the connect, so here we need to define. In the connect, we have to use the connection string and error and client object. Okay. Now, if there is no error, now we have to create database. Client object DB, database is iShop. Now in this database, we need to update a record in a table. So directly here we will use, so DB, database dot collection. In that collection is what? Products. In that we need to update one. Am I right? And you know how to write the update query. Update query, first query is find query. Find query. What you want to find? Product ID is 4. Okay. What is the update query? So we have to write update query. Update query. So we have to update the price. So we have to use price. Colon again query. What is it? So if price, what we need to update? Sorry, we have to use set, right? We need to use an operator. What is that operator? Dollar set. Yeah, what to set expression, what to set price how much. We need to define 7800.63 something. That is how we need to define the command, right? After defining the command, next comma. So that means this is setting the options. After that, we need a callback function. This callback function will return an error and it will return an result. Understood? And what is that here? So if there is no error, if there is no error, we need to display console.log. We need to display record updated successfully. This message should come here. Once check, is the update query correct only? Right? Update query is correct. So then now let's go and run that and see. So we have to use node. What is it? Update.js. And it says updated successfully. Now let's go and refresh. Here the price for the number 4th record is changed here. Right? We are able to read the record. We are able to insert the record and we are able to update. Okay. Now this is the update query. Let me copy this and put it here. This is update. Now we need one more option. What is it? Delete. Delete is simple, same. I will copy this code. I will create another file. What is it? Delete. Delete.js. In this, everything looks similar. Here we need to change the command. What is it? Database dot collection. Collection is what? Products. In the products dot, what is it? Delete one. Delete one. It uses a find query. Na? Delete one. What is that? I want to delete the product ID as 5. And after that, we will have a callback function. So error, another one, result, right? Now here we need to display. So if there is no error, we need to display console.log. So we say record deleted, record deleted. Let's see. That's also done. Now we need to just run that here again. Let's see. Node, this is what? Delete.js, record deleted. You see actually 5 records are there here, and I refreshed that. Now it will be 4 only. That means another record, last one, is deleted. Right? These are the basic CRUD operations. This is an example for delete. That's how we can manage. Now this is okay, working fine. So we also learned how to send this data to browser. From client browser, he can request and we can send the data. Let's see this command that we written. Let's see read operation. In read operation, we are using server. Okay. Now let's compile and see here. I will compile that. What is it? Node read.js. It says server started. Let's do here. I am requesting here localhost. The result is coming. The result is coming. Now what I am doing here is, result is coming fine. What I am doing is I am opening another browser. From another browser, I am making another request. That means the data is coming. So here from another browser, we will make another request. So localhost :4400. and here also data is coming. Now, if it's like that, some number of users are increasing, then memory overloads. Memory is going to overload, and at after certain stage, it is going to stop. Because we already discussed that this Node.js is single threaded, right? Handling many interactions, fetching is okay. But if many people are inserting, many people are deleting, then issues will come. Then it will show an error saying that already somebody is inserting, please wait. After he is inserted, completed, then it will be your turn to insert. That's not good option. We must able to manage all simultaneously. So in that case, generally what we have to do is we need to take help of another important framework. So we need another important framework, Express.js. Express.js, another major Express.js. Actually, Express.js, it is a middleware framework. Middleware framework. What is a middleware means? In computer technologies, in every computer technology, you will find these middlewares, Java, .NET, everywhere. Middleware is a software which is used to handle communication between computers in a network. It is used to handle communication between computers in a network. That means how the server will communicate with client will communicate with server, how it transfers data. All this is managed by this middleware. So middleware handles, actually, it handles communication between computers in a network. What are its activities? Means what this middleware will do. Activities, what activities it do? Actually, it handles request from client. So it sends response to client. Not only that, it manages resources on server. Not only that, it creates and configures a server. That means through Express, what you can do, you can create a server, you can manage request and response, which we were doing without Express also. With the HTTP server object, we were able to create server, we were able to manage request, but it is in a single threaded. But if you want to handle multiple interactions in a multi-threaded way, then better you can use which one? Express.js. It is going to create a server. It is going to manage resources on server. It is going to handle the request and response. Not only that, so it can manage parsing of data. Parsing of data means converting data from binary to JSON to binary. It can manage CORS issues, cross origin resource sharing. That CORS I will explain now. We will discuss that point. These are all some of the major things Express can do. Express is a very big framework. Actually, Express allows to create an API. It allows to create an API. So it also configures server side routing Routing is nothing but navigation. That means server side routing is nothing but what is the request from client, for that request what to be delivered. Routing is like navigation. That I will explain. What is routing? We will see that. These all are key points. What are these? You are going to see now, right? So manage. What are these you are going to see now? Means these all concepts you are going to understand. You will see how it works. For example, if you remembered, so here, suppose I am opening www, suppose some netflix.in, and you can see when I say netflix.in, this screen is coming. Can you tell me what is the page from where this screen is coming? From which page this screen is coming? From which page this screen is coming? Every website, the first screen that you see is coming from index.html. It is from index.html. That means this screen is coming from which page? It is coming from index.html. And observe carefully. Above, is there anything index.html there? No. Then how it is delivering index.html? You are not requesting index.html. How it is delivering? That is also managed by middleware. That means middleware now manages your requests. If user is not requesting anything, then what to send? If user is requesting specific, then what to send? All this is managed by whom? Middleware, right? That means earlier in the beginning days, you might have doubt of this concept. Like I told you in the beginning only, that every website starts with index page. How it recognizes an index page and how it starts with that index page? If there is no index page, it will stop. It cannot show you anything until or unless you request any specific page. That is all middleware. That means in every technology, there is a middleware. This is responsible for handling communication, sending data, transporting data, so managing requests, managing resources. All this is done by this middleware called Express.js. Express.js is a very big one. See, separate here, Express.js. This is Express.js.com. This is Express.js. And see, it says that Express.js is, so it is an web framework for whom? Node.js. It is an web framework for Node.js. Right? What is meant by framework? What is meant by a framework? Framework means a framework is a set of libraries which is responsible for both building application and controlling the application flow. It is responsible for both building application and controlling the application flow. Actually, what is difference between library and framework? We learned jQuery. What it is? Library. React.js is also library, right? But Angular is a framework. Express.js is a framework. Then what is difference between libraries and frameworks? Actually, for that, I will show you a simple scenario. See, generally, first option is here. See, we developed an web application. So web application. And for that, we are using a library. Library like jQuery we are using. We are using a library like jQuery and we are building an application. Now what happens is in the first step, so when we are using this now in the first step, when you request here, so first step what happens is, so it loads page into memory. It's loads page into browser, right? First, when you request a page, what happens? It will load the page into browser. After loading the page into browser, now what happens is, so page is loaded into browser and browser loads DOM, because you see in the process I showed you network, DOM content loaded. You remembered? I showed you na, how much time taken to load. We can track that in network. In the network, you can see how much time taken for loading. It loads the DOM. After loading the DOM, next step, loads the DOM. After loading the DOM, next step, what happens is, so this DOM is static. Static. That means it is not responding, because DOM is just presentation. DOM is just presentation. It is just static. It is not interacting. You just presented. Now how the DOM becomes dynamic, how it starts responding. Now what happens is, in the next step, library loads. Understood? After loading the DOM, the library loads. But unfortunately, the library is loaded, but unfortunately, the library is passive. Passive means the library is not active. It is not active. Library is passive. That means it is not active. That means library is loaded, but it is not responding. You know that jQuery you saw, linking a library is not enough. You linked jQuery.js. It's not enough. Library is loaded, but it is not active. Now how to make it active? To make the library active, now we have to use browser uses events. Events means what? On load, on blur, on change, on click. These are the events. So browser uses events to make the library active. To make the library active, browser uses events. Once these events are triggered, that means now the static DOM is converted into dynamic. That means static DOM transforms into dynamic DOM. It make dynamic DOM. Static DOM transforms into dynamic DOM. This is the process actually happens. That means this much lengthy process happens in the background actually. You requested a page, the page is loaded into browser. After that, it loads the DOM. After that, it loads the library. Library is loaded, but it is not responding. That means, remember, any library can build application, but it cannot control application flow. To control the application flow, we have to use events. Application flow means what? When which action need to be performed. When which action need to be performed, that is decided by whom? Events. That means in a library, what you need? Lot of events. You need lot of events: on click, on change, on blur. That means you have to write on click from where to collect the data, from where to it to be displayed. So a library is good in building an application, but it is not good in controlling application flow. A framework is responsible for doing two things: building the application, controlling the application. Every technology needs a framework, compulsory. Without that, you cannot control the application flow. Java, .NET, PHP, Python, everybody, they need framework. Suppose you learn Java and go to companies for interviews. They will ask what frameworks you learned in Java. Because to work in real time, you must need knowledge of frameworks. Java people learn frameworks like Spring, Hibernate, microservices. These are JavaScript, Java frameworks. .NET people learn framework like ASP.NET, ASP.NET MVC. Python people learn frameworks like Django, Django they call, or called Django, Flask. Those are frameworks. PHP people learn frameworks like Cake PHP, CodeIgniters. Every technology framework is required. Framework is responsible for doing two things: building the application and controlling the application flow. And what is advantage of framework? With less effort, you can easily build an application. That is the reason many times people ask, I want to learn React or Angular. Suggest me which one I have to learn. In the current generation, you have to learn both. It's not a choice like React or Angular. Both. For experienced people in software companies, they ask both depending on the projects. So for fresher, anyone is enough. You cannot say priority, which one is best. Both are required. Both are required. For example, see, suppose I am showing here some Naukri site. Yeah. In the Naukri site, you see, let's search for full stack developer. Suppose Java full stack developer. So we are searching for Java full stack developer. You see, in the Java full stack developer, they are asking here. You see, they are asking React JS. Am I right? They are asking React JS for Java full stack developer. This is full stack developer. And observe carefully here. They are asking Angular, React, both. Both. That means if you don't have both knowledge, then you are not suitable for this job, because they want both. And see the package, 15 to 27 lakh per annum. That means they need people with both knowledge. Sometimes depends. You see here, you see some will ask Angular, some will ask, you see they are asking Angular JS, React JS, both. An experienced person means he need both. Even 2 to 3 years experience also, companies are expecting both. If any one is better, then why they are asking both? Because actually what we do is, in a company, we may be working with several projects, right? Sometimes you will be working on only one project, but senior people will be working on multiple projects. These days workload is so much increased for experienced people. What they are doing is they are assigning multiple projects for experienced people. That means they are saying that you manage this 2 projects, right? So that means, because for experienced people, multiple projects is, they have to just maintain it, right? For that reason, that will be little less risky, but it is risky. because you have to work for multiple, you have to support multiple projects, right? Many of our friends are there in experienced people in companies currently in IBM, Wipro, Infosys, like companies. They are supporting multiple projects, not one. And for that reason they want to change the company. They say that it's not happening, we are have facing a lot of stress because of multiple projects. They can't, but company is forcing them, company is forcing them that you manage this also, right? But in that case, some projects are using Angular, some projects are using React. You must have both. That means where React is used, where Angular is used, we will see when you are learning those courses, you will understand what is difference and how it is used. But it's not a choice. It is not Angular or React. It is Angular and React. Understood? In for a full stack developer, it is Angular and React. As a fresher, anyone is okay. But for an experienced person, even as a fresher, you have both. Then you have a lot of opportunities, wide range of opportunities. So that is the reason it's not a choice. Then what is difference? Because one is library, another one is framework. What is framework specialty? It can directly control the application flow without using much events. It can manage the flow. uh, Frameworks can do two things: they can build application, they can control application flow. So I will show you one interesting example. You see here, let's install one framework, npm install Angular save. I'm installing an Angular framework here. Roughly, this you don't need to do, this is old Angular JS actually, right? I am just showing you. See, suppose I am creating a new page, framework.html. You see, I am typing here simple HTML document, link that framework. Script. So in the script, we have source. So it is node modules, Angular, Angular.js. You see here we have username and we have input type is equal to text. And here we have a heading. So hello. Whatever username entered inside this text box, we need to display in this hello, beside hello. You know JavaScript jQuery, how much pain it takes. Means you need to write events and all. See here, I am giving ng app. That means Angular takes control over this body. We will configure this ng model. This is username. Means whatever entered in text box, it will be stored here. And we will display that here, username, by using binding expression. Now I run this here. I run this here. And I am typing here. So here I am typing anything. It's working there. It's so simple. No event, nothing. No events. No on load, on key up, on blur. No get element by ID, tag name, references, nothing. This is the ability of a framework. Remember, React will be like your jQuery. You have to write events, frame, all these things. Angular is a framework. You don't need any much events. You need events, but it's very simple. It can control the flow. It can identify where is data. It can identify where to show data. It can manage the flow completely. That's good. But these have one drawback also. So that means framework is heavy on application. Library is lightweight. And very important, if my project is having to deal with lot of UI, user interface, and flow is controlled by backend. Only interface we want effective. Complete flow is managed by backend technology like Java, .NET, they will manage. Only UI we need effective. Then we can go with React. React is best. React is very best in building user interfaces, just like jQuery, just like JavaScript. React is more better than them, more faster, more better, more little bit convenient, easy also. Means it is not so complex like jQuery, JavaScript. Very simple, easy to learn, easy to handle, and it is very fast. It's very simple, but it is a library. That means, can it control the application flow? No, it needs lot of other frameworks inside. So if your project is managing all the flow in the server side, only UI they want effective, then better they can go with React. But if your project is trying to manage lot of flow in the front end, several applications they have to control the flow in the front end and less in the back end, then we need a very powerful interface in the front end which can control the flow. That is Angular. So you can say 50 projects are in React, 50 projects are in Angular. There is no variation. Some projects, sometimes in one project we use both. In one project we use both React and Angular both. In that situation, it is not a choice of React or Angular, right? That means you see React.js, what they officially say, React.js, they say it is a JavaScript library for building user interfaces. It is a library for building interfaces. Actually, framework is larger than library. Framework is larger than library because it can build the application and it can control the application flow. But framework is not necessary if already framework is used in the backend. That is the reason, for example, you see Java. So Java uses lot of frameworks in the backend. In front end, they need just UI. That's the reason several Java projects these days ask Angular. For example, you see, not full stack developer, just see the Naukri site. Naukri site I am using. Even Java.NET also. Sometimes you will find that here. Suppose Java developer, okay? We are searching for Java developer. And you can see Java developer. So here came. And you will see, what is it? JavaScript, yeah. Here they are asking, see Angular, React.js, both. Here also they are asking React.js. In several things you will see Angular is used here, right? So they are not asking React. So here also you see they are asking Angular, HCL, that is. And you see here also they are asking for, means you will see several projects are asking for Angular. But however, some projects will be asking for React. You see, they are asking for Angular. Why? Because already it is built. They have a framework in the background. In the foreground, they just need UI effective. They don't need a framework again in the front end. It becomes heavy on application. Then what they do is they prefer using libraries in the front end. For that, jQuery, or they can go with React, right? So what is the difference between the framework and library? So Express.js is a framework. So you learn three things. You are learning three things. You learned a language, you learned a library, and you are now learning a framework. Language is JavaScript. Library is jQuery. And the framework is this. It can build application, it can control the application flow. how it controls request, response, and everything we'll see. That means now you are going to learn how to create an API. What is an API? Really, what is an API? You will learn now. All these days we are using the word API, but actually what is API? What is the architecture behind this API? How it works? How it is created manually? And how it serves? That we will see in the next session. Tomorrow we will start with that. So first we will have a complete discussion on what are middlewares and what are APIs. Then we will learn how to create them using Express. By using Node.js and Express, we will finish the backend with MongoDB as database. Then we can connect this backend with the frontend. Right? Tomorrow we will continue. Okay.